You contain 37 trillion cells, each more complex than any supercomputer. Your body creates 25 million new cells every second. You are literally a walking miracle. So why do you feel inadequate? Let me paint a more complete picture of the impossibility that is you, right now, as you listen to these words. Your heart is pumping 5 liters of blood through 60,000 miles of blood vessels, enough tubing to circle the earth twice. Your brain, weighing only 3 pounds, is processing 11 million bits of information every second while you're consciously aware of only about 40. That means 99.9% of what your brain is doing right now is happening below the threshold of your awareness, orchestrating the symphony of your existence without you having to think about it. Your lungs are extracting oxygen from air that has been breathed by every human who ever lived, by Shakespeare as he penned Hamlet, by Cleopatra as she ruled Egypt, by your grandmother as she held you for first time. The atoms in your body were forged in the nuclear furnaces of dying stars billions of years ago, compressed under pressures we can barely imagine, heated at temperatures that would vaporize anything we know, then scattered across the cosmos in stellar explosions so powerful they outshine entire galaxies. Your DNA contains 3.2 billion base pairs of genetic information, enough to fill 200 phone books. If you stretched out all the DNA in your body, it would reach from here to the sun and back 300 times. Yet this microscopic code somehow knows how to build your eyes to see color, your ears to hear music, your brain to experience love and wonder, and the ability to contemplate your own existence. You are not just connected to the cosmos. You are the cosmos, experiencing itself subjectively through the lens of your unique consciousness. You are 13.8 billion years of cosmic evolution becoming aware of itself through your individual perspective. Yet somehow, you wake up most mornings feeling small, inadequate, separate, like you're not enough. How is this possible? How can something so magnificent, so impossibly complex, so fundamentally interconnected with everything that exists, feel isolated and insignificant? How can a being made of stardust feel worthless? How can a temporary arrangement of atoms that took 13.8 billion years to evolve into consciousness feel like a mistake? The answer lies in one of the most pervasive and devastating illusions of human consciousness, the illusion of separation. It's the master story that tells us we're isolated individuals struggling alone in an indifferent universe, competing for scarce resources and approval, measuring ourselves against impossible standards that were never meant for us. This illusion is so convincing, so deeply embedded in our culture and consciousness that we rarely question it. We assume that feeling small and separate is just part of being human. We think that the anxiety, inadequacy, and isolation we experience are evidence of our true condition rather than symptoms of a fundamental misunderstanding about what we actually are. But what if I told you that this feeling of smallness isn't a reflection of your true nature? It's evidence of how far we've strayed from understanding what we actually are. What if the very fact that you feel inadequate is proof of just how extraordinary you must be to have forgotten something so magnificent? Think about it. If you were truly small and insignificant, would you even have the capacity to feel inadequate? Would a rock worry about its worth? Would a tree compare itself to other trees? The very fact that you can experience the sense of not being enough is evidence of a consciousness so vast and sophisticated that it can temporarily convince itself it's limited. Today, we're going to shatter this illusion. We're going to remember the truth that mystics have whispered for millennia and that quantum physics now confirms. You are not a separate drop struggling in an ocean of existence. You are the entire ocean, experiencing itself as a drop. We're going to explore how society creates artificial measurement systems that were never designed to capture your true worth. We'll discover the scientific evidence that proves separation is an illusion, that you are literally woven into the fabric of existence at every level, from the quantum to the cosmic. And we'll uncover your true cosmic significance, not as a consolation prize or spiritual platitude, but as a verifiable fact about the nature of consciousness and reality. By the end of our time together, you'll understand why feeling small isn't humility. It's amnesia. You'll discover that your struggles aren't evidence of your inadequacy, but proof of the universe's courage to explore existence through your individual experience. And you'll leave with practical tools to live from this expanded awareness, to move through the world knowing yourself as what you truly are, the infinite expressing itself through the beautiful limitation of your individual form. This isn't about developing spiritual pride or feeling superior to others. It's about healing the fundamental wound that creates almost all human suffering, the wound of forgetting what we are. It's about coming home to your true nature and living from that recognition. Welcome to a journey from separation to connection, from smallness to cosmic significance, from the illusion of inadequacy to the reality of infinite worth. Let's begin this remembering together. The first and perhaps most pervasive illusion that makes us feel small is what I call the measurement trap. From the moment we're born into this world, we're taught to measure ourselves against external standards that have absolutely nothing to do with our cosmic nature or inherent worth. Think about it. When you were 5 years old, playing in your backyard, building castles in the sandbox, chasing butterflies with pure wonder in your eyes, did you wake up wondering if you were successful enough? Did you check your reflection and worry about whether you measured up to some invisible standard? Did you compare your sandbox castle to your neighbor's and feel inadequate? Of course not. You were pure being, pure presence, completely connected to the joy of existence itself. You didn't need anyone to tell you that you mattered. You didn't require external validation to know that your existence was worthwhile. You live in a state of natural cosmic significance, fully present to the miracle of being alive, curious about everything, finding magic in the smallest details. You were already perfect, already whole, already enough. But somewhere along the way, the world taught you to measure yourself. It started innocently enough, height charts on the wall marking how tall you were growing, gold stars for good behavior, test scores that supposedly reflected your intelligence, grades that claimed to measure your worth as a student, rankings that determined who was better and who was worse. Society creates these artificial measurement systems because it needs to organize and categorize in order to function. Schools need ways to group students. Employers need methods to evaluate candidates. Social structures require hierarchies to maintain order. But here's the crucial point that gets lost. These systems were never designed to capture the totality of what you are. They measure tiny fragments, your productivity in a specific context, your performance on particular tasks, your ability to conform to certain standards, while completely ignoring the cosmic magnitude of your being. It's like trying to measure the ocean with a teaspoon, or attempting to capture the beauty of a sunset with a thermometer. The tool is completely inadequate for what it's trying to measure. But we internalize these measurements. We start to believe that our scores, rankings, and evaluations actually reflect our worth as human beings. We begin to see ourselves through the lens of these artificial metrics, forgetting that they were arbitrary constructs created by other humans who had also forgotten their own cosmic significance. And here's where it gets particularly cruel and distorted. We start comparing our internal experience to everyone else's external presentation. You know your fears, your doubts, your struggles, your moments of weakness, your embarrassing thoughts, your petty jealousies, your insecurities. You're intimate with every failure, every rejection, every moment when you felt lost or confused or inadequate. But you only see everyone else's highlight reel, their successes, their confident facades, their carefully curated presentations of themselves. You compare your behind-the-scenes struggles to their polished performances, your rough draft to their final product, your whole truth to their partial presentation. Social media has amplified this distortion to unprecedented and psychologically damaging levels. Every day, You're bombarded with evidence of everyone else's success. Their perfect relationships posted at just the right angle. Their dream vacations captured in golden hour lighting. Their career achievements celebrated with professional photography. Their seemingly effortless happiness displayed in carefully selected moments. Meanwhile, you're scrolling through this parade of perfection while sitting in your ordinary life, with your ordinary problems, wearing your ordinary clothes, dealing with your ordinary struggles. The contrast is devastating. But what you're seeing isn't reality. It's a highly edited, carefully curated, selectively presented version of reality designed to show only the most positive moments. This creates a fundamental inequality in the comparison game. It's like comparing your behind-the-scenes footage to everyone else's movie trailer. You're comparing your whole experience to their best moments, your internal struggles to their external successes, your honest reality to their performance. You'll always come up short, not because you are short, but because you're playing a rigged game with dishonest rules. Let me tell you about Sarah, a successful doctor who came to me feeling like a complete failure. On paper, she had everything our society tells us equals worth: prestigious career, beautiful home, loving family, financial security. She had spent over a decade studying to become a physician, sacrificing her 20s to serve others, working 100-hour weeks during residency, accumulating massive student debt in order to save lives for a living. But she spent her days scrolling through social media, seeing former classmates who had started their own medical practices and seemed to be thriving financially. She saw colleagues publishing research papers and speaking at conferences while she was working in a community clinic. She saw friends posting about exotic vacations she couldn't afford because she was still paying off student loans. She saw other doctors who seemed to effortlessly balance their careers with perfect families, beautiful homes, and active social lives. "I'm 35, and I feel like I've accomplished nothing," she told me. This from a woman who saves lives for a living, who had already touched hundreds of families in their most vulnerable moments, who had dedicated her life to healing others, who had overcome enormous challenges to reach her position. But the measurement trap had convinced her that her worth could be quantified by comparing her Chapter 7 to someone else's Chapter 23. She had forgotten that she was a cosmic being having a human experience, not a human being trying to earn cosmic significance through achievements and acquisitions. The measurement trap works by creating several devastating illusions. First, it convinces us that worth is scarce, that there's only so much significance to go around, and if someone else is succeeding, it somehow diminishes our own value. This creates a scarcity mindset where we see other people's success as evidence of our own failure. Second, it tells us that significance must be earned through external achievements, accumulations, or recognition. It creates the belief that we're born worthless and must prove our value through what we do, what we have, or what others think of us. Third, it establishes that our value is relative and comparative, that our worth depends entirely on how we stack up against others. This makes our sense of self completely dependent on external factors beyond our control. Fourth, it suggests that there are universal standards for success and happiness that apply to everyone equally, ignoring the fact that we're all unique expressions of consciousness with different purposes, gifts, and paths. But here's the truth the measurement trap doesn't want you to know. Cosmic significance isn't distributed based on achievements. It's not earned through accomplishments. It's not dependent on comparison. It's not scarce. And it's certainly not determined by arbitrary social metrics created by other humans who had also forgotten their true nature. You are significant because you exist. Period. Full stop. End of sentence. The same creative force that births galaxies and guides the migration of butterflies across continents is expressing itself as you, right now, in this moment. Your worth isn't measured. It's inherent. It's not earned. It's given by the very fact of your existence. It's not comparative. It's absolute. It's not scarce. It's infinite. When you understand this, When you really let it sink into your bones, the measurement trap loses its power over you. You stop playing a game that was designed to make you feel small, and you start remembering what you actually are, an irreplaceable expression of cosmic consciousness, perfect in your imperfection, significant beyond any system of measurement ever devised. The irony is that when you stop trying to measure up and start living from your inherent worth, you naturally begin expressing your gifts more fully. When you're not worried about proving your value, you can focus on sharing your unique contribution. When you stop comparing yourself to others, you start appreciating the irreplaceable note you're meant to play in the cosmic symphony. This doesn't mean abandoning all standards or goals. It means recognizing that your worth is not dependent on meeting those standards or achieving those goals. You pursue excellence because you're already excellent, not to become excellent. You set goals because you're already significant, not to become significant. Now let's explore the deeper illusion that creates all this suffering, the illusion of separation. This is the master illusion, the fundamental misunderstanding from which all feelings of inadequacy, loneliness, and smallness arise. From the moment we develop self-awareness as children, we learn to see ourselves as separate entities navigating an external world. You are in here, behind your eyes, inside your skin, and everything else is out there. You have thoughts, feelings, and experiences that seem private and disconnected from the experiences of others. You feel like an isolated island of consciousness in a vast ocean of otherness. This sense of separation feels so real, so immediate, so obviously true that we rarely question it. Of course you're separate from other people. You can't read their minds or feel their feelings directly. Of course you're separate from nature. You're not a tree or a rock or a river. Of course you're separate from the universe. You're a tiny biological organism on a small planet orbiting an ordinary star in an unremarkable galaxy. But what if I told you that this separation is the grandest illusion of all? What if the very thing that seems most obviously true about your existence is actually the most fundamentally mistaken? Science is now revealing what spiritual traditions have taught for millennia. Separation is a perceptual error, not an ultimate reality. You are not separate from the universe. You are the universe, expressing itself through the temporary form you call yourself. Let's start with the most basic level, the atomic. Every atom in your body, the calcium in your bones, the iron in your blood, the oxygen you breathe, the carbon in your DNA, was forged in the nuclear furnace of a dying star. This isn't metaphorical poetry. It's literal astrophysics. Here's how it works. In the beginning, the universe contained only the simplest elements, hydrogen and helium. All the heavier elements that make life possible, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, phosphorus, calcium, iron, didn't exist. They had to be created through nuclear fusion in the cores of massive stars. For millions of years, these stellar giants burned hydrogen into helium, helium into carbon, carbon into oxygen, and so on up the periodic table. The temperatures required for this process are unimaginable, tens of millions of degrees. The pressures are so intense they would crush any material we know instantaneously. When these massive stars finally exhausted their nuclear fuel, they collapsed and exploded in supernovas. Stellar explosions so powerful they briefly outshine entire galaxies, containing hundreds of billions of stars. These cosmic explosions scatter the heavy elements across the universe, seeding space with the raw materials for planets, oceans, atmospheres, and eventually life. Carl Sagan wasn't being poetic when he said, "We are made of star stuff." He was stating a literal, verifiable fact. The carbon that forms the backbone of your DNA, the nitrogen in your proteins, the phosphorus that stores energy in your cells, the calcium that hardens your bones, the iron that carries oxygen in your blood, all of it was created when massive stars died billions of years ago. You are not just connected to the stars. You are the stars, rearranged into the temporary pattern of consciousness experiencing these words right now. Every atom in your body is ancient beyond imagination, forged in cosmic furnaces, tested by stellar explosions, and finally assembled into a miracle of your existence. But it goes even deeper than that. Quantum physics reveals that at the most fundamental level, everything in the universe is connected to what Einstein called spooky action at a distance, quantum entanglement. When two particles become entangled, they remain connected no matter how far apart they travel in space. Change the spin of one particle, and its partner responds instantaneously, even if they're separated by billions of light years. This isn't science fiction. It's measurable, repeatable, Nobel Prize-winning science. Experiments have confirmed quantum entanglement over distances of hundreds of miles, and theoretical physics suggests that this connection is instantaneous across any distance. Some physicists believe that every particle in the universe was entangled during the Big Bang and remains connected at the quantum level. If this is true, then the entire universe is fundamentally interconnected in ways that transcend space and time. The boundaries between you and not you are conceptual conveniences, not ultimate realities. At the deepest level reality, everything is one unified field of existence expressing itself as apparent multiplicity. Consider this mind-bending fact. Every breath you take contains approximately 10 to the 22nd power molecules. That's 10 followed by 22 zeros, a number so large it's difficult to comprehend. In a single breath, you inhale more molecules than there are stars in the observable universe. Some of those molecules were exhaled by every person who ever lived. Shakespeare as he contemplated the human condition, Cleopatra as she ruled Egypt, your grandmother as she whispered lullabies, the Buddha as he achieved enlightenment. With every breath, you're literally breathing in the exhalations of every living thing that came before you. But it's not just humans. You're breathing molecules that were once part of dinosaurs, ancient forests, primordial oceans. The air you're breathing right now has cycled through the respiratory systems of countless creatures across millions of years. Every breath connects you to the entire history of life on Earth. The oxygen you're breathing right now was produced by plants and phytoplankton through photosynthesis. These organisms captured sunlight, energy that traveled 93 million miles from our star over the course of about 8 minutes, and converted it into the oxygen that's keeping you alive at this very moment. You are literally breathing in sunlight that was transformed by the green world into the essence of life itself. Your body is approximately 60% water, the same water that fills the oceans, falls as rain, flows in rivers, and makes up the majority of every living thing on Earth. The water molecules in your cells have been cycling through the planet for billions of years. They have been clouds, snow, ice, underground rivers, the blood of dinosaurs, the sap of ancient trees, the tears of every human who ever lived, and the morning dew on countless flowers. The water in your body right now has been part of comets crashing into the early Earth, part of the primordial oceans where life first emerged, part of the rains that nourished the first forests. It has flowed to the Amazon River, fallen as snow on the highest mountains, and existed as vapor and clouds that drifted across every continent. From this perspective, where do you begin and the rest of existence end? The boundaries start to dissolve when you really look at them closely. Your skin seems like a clear boundary, but it's constantly exchanging molecules with the environment. You're shedding dead cells and absorbing new ones. The you of 7 years ago shares almost no atoms with the you of today, yet your sense of being a continuous self persists. Let's expand the perspective even further. Our Earth is one planet orbiting one star among the estimated 400 billion stars in our galaxy. Our galaxy, the Milky Way, is one of over 2 trillion galaxies in the observable universe. Each galaxy contains hundreds of billions of stars, many with their own planets, and possibly their own forms of life and consciousness. The scale is so vast it defies comprehension. If our sun were the size of a white blood cell, the Milky Way galaxy would be the size of the continental United States. And that's just one galaxy among trillions. The observable universe is about 93 billion light-years across, a distance so large that light, the fastest thing in the universe, would take 93 billion years to cross it. Yet here, on this tiny blue marble spinning through infinite space, the universe has become conscious of itself through you. Think about that for a moment. This vast, magnificent, incomprehensibly complex cosmos has developed the ability to know itself through your awareness. Through your eyes, the universe is seeing itself. Through your consciousness, it's becoming aware of its own beauty and mystery. Through your capacity for wonder, it's appreciating its own creativity. Through your ability to love, it's experiencing its own fundamental nature as creative, loving energy. You are not a separate observer looking at the universe from the outside. You are the universe looking at itself from the inside. You're not a cosmic accident or a random arrangement of matter that somehow developed consciousness. You're the inevitable result of 13.8 billion years of cosmic evolution, the universe's way of waking up to itself. This isn't metaphorical poetry. It's the most accurate description science can offer what you actually are. You are a temporary configuration of cosmic elements, animated by the same energy that moves galaxies and guides the growth of flowers, experiencing the joy and wonder of existence from a unique perspective that has never existed before and will never exist again. The mystic poet Rumi understood this when he wrote, "You are not just a drop in the ocean, but the entire ocean in each drop." This isn't just beautiful language. It's a precise description of reality. Every cell in your body contains a complete genetic blueprint for creating an entire human being. Similarly, every moment of your consciousness contains a complete pattern of universal consciousness, experiencing itself from one unique viewpoint. Modern physics is discovering that consciousness might not be something that emerges from complex matter, but rather something that matter emerges from. Some theories suggest that consciousness is a fundamental feature of the universe, like space, time, and energy. If this is true, then you're not a biological machine that somehow developed awareness. You're awareness itself, temporarily wearing the costume of a biological form. When you truly understand this, not just intellectually, but in your bones, in your cells, in the deepest levels of your being, the illusion of separation begins to dissolve. You stop feeling like a small, isolated individual struggling alone in an indifferent cosmos. You start recognizing yourself as the cosmos itself, experiencing the adventure of existence through the magnificent lens of your individual perspective. This shift in understanding changes everything. Loneliness becomes impossible when you realize you're connected to everything that exists. Fear of death diminishes when you understand that what you truly are, universal consciousness, is eternal and indestructible. The need to prove your worth disappears when you recognize that you're the universe itself, temporarily expressing as an individual form. Now that we've dissolved the illusions of measurement and separation, let's explore the truth of your cosmic significance. This isn't about inflating your ego or making you feel superior to others. This is about recognizing the actual role you play in the grand symphony of existence, based on what science tells us about consciousness and the universe. You are the universe becoming conscious of itself. This isn't a metaphor, a feel-good spiritual platitude, or an attempt to make you feel better about yourself. It's the most accurate description science can offer what human consciousness actually represents in the cosmic story. For 13.8 billion years after the Big Bang, the universe existed without self-awareness. Stars were born and died in spectacular explosions. Galaxies swirled through space in cosmic dances of unimaginable beauty. Planets formed through gravitational accumulation of cosmic dust. Complex chemistry evolved in the primordial soups of countless worlds. But there was no observer, no consciousness to witness and appreciate the magnificent unfolding of cosmic creativity. The universe was like a vast symphony playing to an empty concert hall, or a masterpiece painted in a dark room with no one to see it. All this incredible beauty, complexity, and creative expression existed, but there was nothing aware enough to experience wonder at its magnificence. Then, on at least one planet that we know of, this Earth, something extraordinary happened. Through billions of years of evolution, the universe developed nervous systems complex enough to be aware of themselves. It evolved brains capable of contemplating their own existence, consciousness that could look back at the cosmos and recognize itself in the starlight. For the first time in cosmic history, the universe could see its own beauty through biological eyes. It could appreciate its own creativity through evolved minds. It could experience love, wonder, awe, and joy through conscious beings like you. This is why your existence is not an accident, not a cosmic fluke, not a random assemblage of atoms that happen to develop awareness. In a universe governed by precise physical laws, where the fundamental constants are fine-tuned to incredible precision to allow for the emergence of complexity and consciousness, your awareness represents the inevitable flowering of cosmic evolution. Think about the chain of events that had to unfold perfectly for you to exist. The Big Bang had to happen with exactly the right amount of energy and the right distribution of matter to create an expanding universe that wouldn't collapse immediately or expand so fast that matter could never clump together. If the expansion rate had been even slightly different, we're talking about precision to dozens of decimal places, the universe would have either collapsed back on itself or expanded so rapidly that no stars or galaxies could ever have formed. The fundamental forces of nature, gravity, electromagnetism, and the strong and weak nuclear forces had to be precisely calibrated to allow for the formation of atoms, molecules, and eventually complex chemistry. If any of these forces were even slightly different, atoms couldn't exist, chemistry would be impossible, and life would never emerge. The first stars had to form in just the right way to create heavy elements through nuclear fusion, then die in supernovas that scattered these elements across the cosmos. Our solar system had to form in just the right location in the galaxy, not too close to the center where radiation would be lethal, not too far out where heavy elements would be scarce. Earth had to be precisely the right distance from the sun, not too hot like Venus, not too cold like Mars. We needed exactly the right size to maintain an atmosphere, but not so large that we'd be crushed by gravity. The moon had to be just the right size and distance to stabilize our planet's rotation and create tides that may have been crucial for early life. Our planet needed the right mixture of elements, the right atmospheric composition, the right magnetic field to protect us from cosmic radiation, the right plate tectonics to regulate temperature and create diverse environments for evolution. Then, billions of years of evolution had to unfold with each step building upon the last. Single-celled organisms had to develop photosynthesis and flood the atmosphere with oxygen. Complex cells had to evolve through the merger of simpler organisms. Multicellular life had to emerge and diversify through countless experiments in form and function. Your particular lineage had survived through millions of years of human evolution, through ice ages and volcanic winters, through asteroid impacts and mass extinctions, through droughts and floods and predators and diseases. Your ancestors had to meet each other across thousands of generations, fall in love, successfully reproduce, and pass down the exact genetic combination that would eventually become you. The probability of your existence is so infinitesimally small that mathematically it's essentially zero. Yet here you are. You represent the successful culmination of 13.8 billion years of cosmic evolution, the universe's most improbable and precious creation, a configuration of matter and energy so complex that it can contemplate its own existence and experience love, wonder, creativity, and joy. Your unique perspective has never existed before in the entire history of the cosmos and will never exist again. No one else in the 13.8 billion years since the Big Bang has had your exact combination of experiences, insights, challenges, gifts, and ways of seeing reality. The questions you ask, the problems you solve, the love you give, the art you create, the relationships you form, all of this is a completely original contribution to cosmic consciousness. This is what Rumi meant when he wrote that you are the entire ocean in a drop. Your individual consciousness contains a complete pattern of universal awareness, expressed through your unique lens of experience. You're not just a part of the cosmic symphony. You're playing a solo that no one else can play, making music that has never been heard before and will never be heard again. And here's something even more remarkable. Modern physics suggests that your thoughts and consciousness don't exist in isolation. If consciousness is indeed a fundamental feature of the universe, then every thought you think, every choice you make, every emotion you feel is rippling through the quantum field of consciousness that connects all things. When you choose love over fear, compassion over judgment, wonder over cynicism, you're not just changing your own experience. You're contributing to the overall evolution of cosmic consciousness. You're helping the universe become more loving, more wise, more awake to its own beauty and potential. This is supported by emerging research in fields like quantum consciousness and morphic resonance. While still controversial, some scientists propose that consciousness operates through quantum fields that transcend the boundaries of individual brains. If this is true, then your personal growth, your spiritual development, your increasing capacity for love and wisdom directly benefits all of existence. Every time you overcome fear, you make it easier for others to be courageous. Every time you choose love, you strengthen the field of love for everyone. Every time you expand your consciousness, you contribute to the awakening of universal consciousness itself. This is why the ancient Sanskrit greeting Namaste is so profound. It literally means the divine in me recognizes the divine in you, or the universe in me honors the universe in you. It's an acknowledgement that the same cosmic consciousness that animates you also animates everyone and everything else. When you honor another person, you're honoring the universe itself in another form. Your significance isn't something you need to earn or prove or achieve. It's built into the very fabric of your existence. You matter because matter organized itself into the temporary miracle of your consciousness. You're important because the universe needed your particular way of being aware in order to know itself more completely. Every challenge you face, every struggle you endure, every moment of growth and learning, all of this is a universe exploring its own potential through you. Your difficulties aren't meaningless suffering. They're the cosmos discovering what it's capable of overcoming. Your triumphs aren't personal achievements. They're the universe celebrating its own creativity and resilience. Your relationships aren't just personal connections. They're the universe learning to love itself in different forms. Your creativity isn't just individual expression. It's cosmic creativity flowing through your unique channel. Your capacity for joy, wonder, and appreciation isn't just personal happiness. It's a universe experiencing the delight of its own existence. You don't have to do anything special to be cosmically significant. You already are, simply by being conscious, by being aware, by being the unique expression of universal creativity that you are. Your very existence fulfills your cosmic purpose. But when you remember this truth, when you live from this expanded awareness, something magical happens. You stop trying to prove your worth and start expressing your nature. You stop measuring yourself against others and start appreciating the unique note you're meant to play in the cosmic symphony. You stop feeling small and separate and start experiencing yourself as the infinite expressing itself through the beautiful limitation of your individual form. From this perspective, every human being you meet is a universe in disguise, playing a different role in the cosmic drama. Every animal, every plant, every natural phenomenon is another expression of the same creative consciousness that you are. The entire cosmos becomes your extended body, and all of existence becomes your family. This understanding doesn't diminish your individuality. It enhances it. When you know yourself as a universe temporarily expressing as a unique individual, Your personal gifts and perspectives become infinitely precious. You're not trying to be like everyone else. You're celebrating the irreplaceable contribution that only you can make to cosmic consciousness. Now, let's take an extended moment to integrate this understanding into your lived experience. What we've explored together isn't just philosophical theory or spiritual speculation. It's meant to transform how you experience yourself and move through the world. I want you to pause and really take in what we discover together. What would change if you truly knew, not just intellectually, but in every cell of your being, in every moment of your daily experience, that you are cosmically significant? Imagine waking up tomorrow morning with the absolute certainty that you are the universe experiencing itself through your unique perspective. How would you brush your teeth differently, knowing that this simple act is cosmic consciousness caring for its temporary physical form? How would you look in the mirror, seeing not just your individual reflection, but the universe contemplating itself through your eyes? How would you eat breakfast, recognizing that you're literally consuming other expressions of cosmic creativity, plants that converted sunlight into nourishment, beings that gave their lives to sustain your form? How would you interact with your family, knowing that these aren't just separate people, but other faces of the same universal consciousness playing different roles in the cosmic drama? How would you go to work, understanding that your job isn't just about earning money or achieving career goals, but about the universe exploring its creative potential through your particular skills and talents? How would you handle challenges and setbacks, recognizing them as the cosmos discovering what it's capable of overcoming through your individual experience? Let's try an extended visualization to help anchor this awareness deep in your consciousness. Find a comfortable position. Close your eyes if you feel safe doing so, or simply soften your gaze and turn your attention inward. Take a deep breath, and as you breathe in, imagine you're breathing in starlight. Feel the oxygen entering your lungs, oxygen that was created billions of years ago by the first photosynthetic organisms, oxygen that has been breathed by countless creatures throughout Earth's history. Recognize that you're literally breathing in the transformed energy of our star, the same energy that powers all life on Earth. Now, as you breathe out, imagine your breath joining the great atmospheric ocean that surrounds our planet. Feel your exhale becoming part of the air that will be breathed by other humans, by animals in the wild, by the forests themselves. Recognize that through this simple act of breathing, you're participating in the global circulation of life energy that connects all living beings. Notice your heartbeat. This rhythm that's been constant since you were just a few weeks old in your mother's womb is the same rhythm that pulses through all life on Earth. It's the drumbeat of cosmic consciousness, keeping time with the rotation of planets, the orbiting of moons, the oscillation of quantum fields, the expansion of the universe itself. Feel the weight of your body, and remember that this weight comes from elements forged in the hearts of dying stars. Your bones contain calcium from stellar explosions. Your blood carries iron from cosmic furnaces. Every atom in your body is ancient beyond imagination, tested by the extremes of stellar birth and death, finally assembled into the miracle of your form. Now expand your awareness outward. Feel your connection to everyone else who might be listening to these words right now. We're all made of the same cosmic material, all expressions of the same universal consciousness, all participants in the same magnificent unfolding of existence. Feel the invisible threads of connection that link your consciousness to theirs, recognizing that at the deepest level, there's only one consciousness experiencing itself through billions of unique perspectives. Expand even further. Feel your connection to all life on Earth. Every animal breathing the same air, every plant converting the same sunlight, every microorganism participating in the same web of existence. We all share the same evolutionary heritage, all branches on the same tree of life, all expressions of the same creative force that sparked the first living cell billions of years ago. Now expand beyond Earth. Feel our planet as one small jewel spinning through infinite space, part of a solar system that's part of a galaxy that's part of an incomprehensibly vast universe. Yet right here, right now, through your awareness, this entire cosmos is experiencing itself. You are the universe's way of knowing that it exists, of appreciating its own beauty, of experiencing wonder at its own creativity. Feel the stars above you, not as distant lights, but as your stellar ancestors, the cosmic furnaces that created the very atoms of your being. Feel the space between the stars, not as emptiness, but as a quantum field of pure potential from which all existence emerges. Feel the entire universe as your extended body and all of existence as your cosmic family. You are not small. You are infinite consciousness, experiencing itself through the beautiful limitations of your individual form. You are not separate. You are the whole universe, temporarily focused into this particular expression of awareness. Now, gently bring your awareness back to this moment, but carry this expanded sense of yourself with you. Let this feeling of cosmic connection infuse every cell of your being. Here's a practice you can use whenever you start to feel small or separate again, what I call the cosmic significance breath. Place your hand on your heart and take 3 deep breaths. With each inhale, silently say, I am the universe, experiencing itself through this form. With each exhale, say, I am cosmically significant, not because of what I do, but because of what I am. Let this become your anchor whenever the old voices of inadequacy and separation try to convince you that you're small. Remember, those voices aren't speaking truth. They're echoes of an old story that humanity has been telling itself for too long, a story based on the illusion of separation. Here's another powerful practice, the universal recognition exercise. Throughout your day, when you encounter other people, silently acknowledge, that is the universe in another form. When you see animals, plants, or natural phenomena, recognize, that is my cosmic family. When you look in the mirror, remember, that is the cosmos, looking at itself through these eyes. And here's an extended challenge for you. For next week, try to live from this expanded awareness. In every interaction, remember that you're the universe meeting another expression of itself. When you face challenges, remember that you're the cosmos discovering what it's capable of overcoming. When you create something, whether it's a meal, a conversation, a work project, or a moment of kindness, remember that your universal creativity expressing itself through your unique gifts. Notice how this shift in perspective changes everything. How you treat yourself, how you relate to others, how you move through the world, how you handle both success and failure. You might be amazed at the transformation that occurs when you stop trying to be enough and start remembering that you already are everything. Pay attention to the moments when you forget this truth and slip back into feeling small or separate. Don't judge these moments. They're natural and inevitable as you integrate a new way of seeing yourself. Instead, use them as opportunities to practice returning to cosmic awareness. Each time you remember, you're strengthening your ability to live from this expanded identity. This is about developing spiritual pride or feeling superior to others. It's about recognizing the truth of what you are and living from that recognition. It's about healing the fundamental wound of separation that causes so much suffering in our world, both personal suffering and collective suffering. When you know yourself as cosmic consciousness in individual form, comparison becomes meaningless. How do you compare infinity to infinity? How do you compete with yourself in different disguises? Competition transforms into collaboration as you recognize that everyone is part of the same cosmic team, working together to help the universe know itself more completely. Fear of inadequacy dissolves when you understand that the universe cannot be inadequate to be itself. You are not trying to become worthy. You are worthiness itself, temporarily wearing human form. You are not attempting to find your purpose. You are purpose itself, exploring its own potential through your individual experience. From this expanded awareness, your entire life becomes an expression of cosmic love and creativity rather than a struggle to prove your worth. Your relationships become sacred meetings between different facets of the same universal consciousness. Your work becomes a cosmos exploring its creative potential through your particular gifts and talents. Your challenges become opportunities for the universe to discover its own resilience through your courage. Even your failures and mistakes take on new meaning. They're not evidence of your inadequacy. They're the universe's way of learning, growing, and expanding through your willingness to risk, to try, to be vulnerable. Every failure is cosmic research. Every mistake is universal education. Every setback is existential exploration. This perspective doesn't make you passive or resigned. Instead, it fills you with incredible energy and purpose. When you know that you're the universe exploring its potential through your individual form, you become incredibly motivated to see what's possible. You become curious about what the cosmos might accomplish through your unique combination of gifts, experiences, and perspectives. You start asking different questions. Instead of, am I good enough? You ask, what wants to emerge through me? Instead of, how do I compare to others? You ask, how can I best express my unique cosmic note? Instead of, what will make me worthy? You ask, how can I serve the universe's awakening to itself? This shift in questioning changes everything. You move from a paradigm of earning and proving to a paradigm of expressing and serving. You stop trying to become something and start allowing yourself to be what you already are. As we come to the end of our extended journey together today, I want you to carry this understanding with you like a sacred flame that can never be extinguished. You're not too small, too flawed, too ordinary, or too anything to matter profoundly. You are the universe becoming conscious of itself, and that makes you infinitely, eternally, absolutely significant. The feeling of smallness that may have brought you to this exploration isn't your truth. It's evidence of how far our culture has drifted from understanding what consciousness actually is and what human beings actually represent in the cosmic story. Every time you feel inadequate, remember that this feeling is the cosmos experiencing temporary amnesia about its own magnificence. Your struggles with self-worth aren't personal failures. They're symptoms of a collective forgetting that has affected our entire species. But you don't have to wait for everyone to remember. You can begin living from cosmic awareness right now, in this moment, and become part of the awakening that helps others remember their true nature as well. Let me leave you with this image. Imagine the universe as an infinite ocean of consciousness, and every human being as a wave on this ocean. Each wave is unique. It has its own height, its own shape, its own particular way of moving through space and time. But every wave is also the entire ocean, expressing itself through one temporary form. You are not a small wave trying to become bigger or more important. You are the entire ocean of cosmic consciousness, experiencing itself as a wave. Your significance doesn't depend on your size or your achievements or how you compare other waves. It comes from the fact that you are the ocean itself, temporarily focused into this beautiful, unique expression. Your episode mantra, the phrase I want you to carry with you and return to whenever you need to remember your true nature, is this: I am cosmically significant. Say it with me now. I am cosmically significant. Not because of what you achieve, not because of how you compare to others, not because you've earned it or proven it, but because you are it. You are the impossible made manifest, the infinite expressing itself through the beautiful constraints of your individual form, the universe's way of experiencing and celebrating its own existence. Write this mantra somewhere you'll see it daily. Put it on your bathroom mirror, your computer screen, your phone's wallpaper. Let it become the background music of your consciousness, slowly replacing the old songs of inadequacy and separation with the truth of your cosmic nature. In our next episode, we'll explore another profound truth. why your pain has cosmic purpose. We'll discover how your struggles and challenges aren't evidence of your inadequacy or mistakes in the cosmic design, but rather the universe's courageous way of discovering its own capacity for resilience, growth, and transformation. Your pain isn't punishment. It's cosmic exploration to the bravery of your individual experience. Your difficulties aren't proof that you're broken. They're evidence of the universe's willingness to risk, to grow, to expand beyond its current limitations through your journey. We'll explore how even your darkest moments serve the awakening of cosmic consciousness and contribute to the healing of our world. But until then, remember this fundamental truth. You are not a drop in the ocean trying to prove your worth. You are the entire ocean, experiencing itself as a drop. You are not small. You are infinite. You are not separate. You are the universe itself, conscious and awake and magnificent beyond measure. Every breath you take is the cosmos breathing. Every heartbeat is universal rhythm. Every thought is cosmic contemplation. Every act of love is the universe celebrating its own nature. Every moment of wonder is existence appreciating its own beauty through your awareness. You came from the stars, and you are the stars. You emerged from the cosmos, and you are the cosmos. You were born from the universe, and you are the universe, temporarily wearing human form to experience the incredible adventure of individual existence within infinite consciousness. Thank you for joining me on this journey from separation to connection, from smallness to cosmic significance, from the illusion of inadequacy to the reality of infinite worth. Thank you for being willing to remember what you are, to question the stories that make you feel small, and to open yourself to the magnificent truth of your cosmic nature. Remember, you are the universe, conscious. You could never be small. You could never be separate. You could never be insignificant. These are impossible because they contradict the very nature of what you are. Go forth knowing your true identity. Live from cosmic awareness. Express your unique gifts with the confidence that comes from knowing you are the universe exploring its creative potential through your individual form. Until next time, stay connected to the truth of what you are, cosmically significant, eternally connected, infinitely valuable, and absolutely necessary to the continued awakening of universal consciousness. You are the miracle. You are the gift. You are the universe, awake and aware and expressing itself as beautifully, uniquely, perfectly you.